Hello everyone, and welcome back to playing Tangle Tower with me. Today we're finally going to enter the deeper parts of the Fellow Tower. Let's check out this big room. Aviary. So many birds. I love that butterfly.
Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Does it?
Wow, judgmental.
Agreed. I think it looks very cute. It's got a big red nose and big nice eyes.
They're bird cages. But the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
Maybe it is. What's this?
My little writing desk.
It's like there's a
Kinda
page
cute.
missing.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
What about this?
What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Ah, that's
Oh.
a pretty good deduction.
Bird diagrams. Hand-painted.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff.
Agreed. Is this a mirror?
I don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
Is that so?
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
There must be quite some weight there. P.
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
Pointer, I'm guessing. Well, let's talk to the lady.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Her hair?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, she sure is a character. And a half. By the way, sorry for the noise. I think my neighbors are doing some stuff.
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
I love
Travel.
the expression.
Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our two families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
I see. So I'm guessing that the item is a gift from her.
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there. Crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That, and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So,
A nail?
you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I return to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
She is somehow a delight to listen to. The speech patterns are so unique. I like it. First, I'm gonna present the ornate travel, though.
Did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right.
What about the letter?
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue.
Well, she sure seems interested in that. What about this?
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one? Well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
That's so sad. She sounds like one of the other characters. Maybe the voice actor is just the same. What about this picture of Fitz and Poppy?
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
Ah,
Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look.
that's what Fitz seems like, definitely. That's true. What about this?
I don't know what that is.
Alright. Tell me about Flora.
A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it.
I can understand that.
I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable.
He does seem that way, doesn't he?
She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. you don't need to.
No, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. She's a most unsavory little... She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility.
Ah, so
Did
she's
you
her client.
not know that?
I see. What about Freya?
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species, too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her. but she had a way of understanding unspoken things.
What about Fitz?
Isn't he strapping?
He is vague.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
Is she more interested in his appearance than anything else?
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it.
They're cousins, right?
Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me?
Okay. Sure, an
We can get
interesting
into
character.
Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
Hold on, later. I want to see the statement first.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
She has an expression on her, that's for sure. That's quite the hat she has, too. What are these?
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
Pretty. 3 brightly colored birds in a heavy ornate cage. Nice. I'd really like to see the drawing that she mentioned. But these must be Freya's then, right?
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows.
Well, let us head to Penny's room then. Penny's room. Oh, more bird cages.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds? Nope, they're wooden.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
Solve the possessions of 7 birds. I think it's like a family tree of sorts. So if we use yellow and I do believe it's like this. So yellow and blue make green, green and white make light green, green and red make brown.
I got it.
I'm impressed. Did the door open? What's in there?
Now I'll get her. And some rose petals. Crumbled paper. A ripped piece of paper crumbled into a ball. Red flower petals were found inside. A message is angrily scrawled onto the paper. Now I'll get her. It's probably the same one as in this picture. That's pretty terrifying, honestly.
Looks like nature invited itself in. Rude.
I like it.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes, though.
That's not a comforting sentence.
Ah, so much luggage.
Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
Teeny tiny cage.
This is the fanciest room so far.
Too fancy.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's not that bad. I do like the nature's presence in here.
A little tea set. Looks recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
One.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed.
Birdseed. She does like company, huh?
That bed. It's like something from a fairy tale.
Does it feel warm over here, or is it just me?
No, you're right. Maybe the bed has some kind of heater.
It's not coming from the bed. It's coming from the wall.
The wall. Heat from the wall.
A little bedtime reading?
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels, and
What?
this one appears to be both.
Nice.
Detective romance. So there's heat coming from the wall. But there's nothing there. Curious. What about this?
That's some flower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
Maybe Fates made it? It sure has the blue soil and a heart. Potted flower. A brightly colored flower with an unusual shape. It looks very healthy and well looked after. The soil in the pot looks fresh and moist. It's also an unusual blue color. It's a very interesting looking flower. It's a bit similar to these flowers that I know, but I don't know their names in English. But it's a piece of proof at least. Okay, don't see
This
much
is the
else.
test.
I don't know.
That might be the most pointless staircase I've ever seen.
I mean, it adds style and some storage under the bed. So not necessarily as pointless as it might seem. There's a crack.
That bed. It's like
Does it
no.
It's not coming
Well,
from the bed.
they don't have info on that. Well, let's check out the final room then. Professor Pointer, I assume. Astronomy Tower. Well, he's very focused on his thing. This.
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
Me too when I was a kid.
A mechanical solar system? What would you do with it?
Look at it.
I would look at it.
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
Puzzle.
Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
Okay. Alright, so... these are two light sources. And by moving these, I control the shadows. Okay, these lines must have something to do with it. Okay, let's see. I'm assuming that this goes here. I just need this to be in the right angle. Okay, those seem fine already. Here?
I got it.
Yes!
I'm impressed. Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
What's in it? What's in it? What's in it?
There's a little hatch underneath. What's in there?
There.
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
Golden Beetle. It was mentioned before. The golden beetle, named for its exoskeleton, composed of a mineral approximately 90% identical to gold, has a lifespan of several years. It fends off predators with a loud hiss, records of over 95 decibels, and by being completely undigestible. This mistid has somewhat spurious reputation for causing ill fortune to those that see it. That's number 4. Does that suggest that there might be more research somewhere?
It's tidier than my desk. The notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
This is true. Picture?
A picture frame.
With no picture.
It's empty? That's weird.
It's a chart of the solar system. Which planet are you from, Sally?
I think
It's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
I think she would be from an asteroid.
It's also daytime.
What is he looking at during daytime anyway?
Pretty.
A bell jar. It's empty.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean?
Oh, grimoire.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
Gizmos, right. Is that a reference to Little Mermaid?
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet, and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about?
I hate his
Are
voice.
they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the Astronomy Tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Triple P.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
Okay. So if there's a feud, then who is between if this guy thinks that there is no problem? Unless he's lying.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family. And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the cosmos I say hi.
Sally is just joyful.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
He was in the stone garden. He didn't mention Hawkshaw. Or was it the stone area? I'll check it
For
in a
how
moment.
long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the Astronomy Tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening. The day began as any other. I took my usual morning walk around the garden.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden.
Besides
it's a
the
favorite
pond.
spot of mine.
Right. Right, so not at the stone place.
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever, then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
Alright. Tell me about these people.
A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. Comes from a dysfunctional family. I'd say you could ask her about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a dead end. He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends.
Okay, it sounds like Mr. Pointer here is rather aggressive, unhappy. Well, hates Felix, clearly.
Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her. Dangerously intelligent, that one.
You sound jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally.
He definitely does seem to have a lot of animosity for the fellow family. And Fifi and Felix especially.
Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you.
Burn.
Nobody could deny her talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her. But I think she was captivated by more tangible things here on Earth. My daughter loved her. Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more and more I begun to notice her by herself, wandering the gardens at the most peculiar hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100 times over. Quite a restless spirit, I think. I'm surprised she chose to live at Tangle Tower as long as she did.
Well, I mean, she didn't exactly choose to end it. Just saying.
What do you want me to say? He's the gardener.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the Fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived.
Short-lived, huh? Maybe he doesn't feel like he belongs with the family to a degree then.
I don't especially want to talk about myself. Introspection often leads to vanity.
Wait, does it?
Why don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter instead?
Can you?
I'm not sure if we have time. Aren't there like 10 of them?
83.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Okay.
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time, until she marries the gardener.
She'll still be your
Huh?
niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the Pointers and join the Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking ship.
Okay, he really does seem to hate the fellows.
My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Because she's a suspect.
Oh, no. I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth. The playing field has never really been even since she left.
Where did she go?
Away. She went away.
He didn't say she died. Just as she went away. I'm guessing that Poppy gets most of her features from her mother. Well, this...
Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar.
Alright. Well, you spent time by the pond, so you should know the Harp Statue.
A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is.
Suspicious.
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license.
Artistic license, I like that.
What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
Well, he's trying to protect her. What about this lens?
What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Maybe it's for spying, then. What do you think about your daughter with fists?
These were drawn by Freya. She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
What if I show him this research?
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your Astronomy Tower.
Okay, so he's interested in the golden beetle, I'm guessing. Can he tell me more about this?
This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know.
What a mean-spirited man. This belonged to Primrose, right?
Pointer property originally, purloined by the fellows. Typical.
Right. Okay, what can you tell me about these?
Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all.
Okay, sheet music?
Oh my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother?
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her wall.
That is very nice. What about this?
Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either.
Well, we are being detectives, so I guess I will be heading out.
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
True, it's not a microscope, it's a telescope.
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Later though, I want to talk to Penny about this crumbled up paper of hers. Explain.
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope, you'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
I'm betting she has it in for Poppy.
Yes, it's my, my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
But it looks like her. Doesn't it?
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all three of those names.
Which one is
Tamara
which?
and Tatiana.
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
Alright, do you know anything about this?
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Freya's, she says. Very well. I'm very surprised she didn't tell us anything further.
Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
Well, she did memorize it. That is actually quite impressive, isn't it? Well,
There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
I was thinking that the flower is mentioned to be in great condition, right? Very healthy and well looked after. If Fitz was seen going up to the tower with, was it travel? Yes. Then perhaps he's looking after the flower with this. Maybe it's special that he just uses it for that? I mean, that's a thought. Let's talk to Fitz before we end for today. Hi there, Fitz. Talk to me.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower, holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
He was holding something else.
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
Ah, easy enough. I believe it was this.
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
Okay, an ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
A liar.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
The soil. He mixes it with the water. Something to compare directly with the potted flower from Penny's room. Something to compare. Here.
Let's take a closer look at these.
They're even the same thing. The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse.
The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse. Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
Ah, it does.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again when she's not there. Water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive.
Poor guy seems to be trying quite hard, huh? I feel sort of bad. Well, we got his secret. Let's ask him a few questions before we wrap things up.
I imagine you don't visit the Astronomy Tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was
Really?
much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Maybe it is his research, the insect one.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good.
So she's very different from what she seems to be.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. That's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
It was the whole thing.
A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
So he doesn't change his story.
Those petals, they,
What?
they're red.
They are red. That they indeed are.
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they, like, her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
That's a shame. Well, we'll figure out Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana at some other time, I believe. Either way, guys, thank you so very much for spending some time with me. Next time, we will be talking to Hawkshaw and figuring out her secrets. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!